So for anybody watching at home, there's Fran. Hello, Fran. You're late. Did you bring a note? Nope, she didn't.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning, Joe. We're doing lesson 321 in the workbook. We're going to do a block of 10. So for anyone following along who might be watching this video from the far distant future, Course in Miracles, workbook lessons 321 to 330. And the preamble for this block of lessons is, what is creation? And we're going to...
Do we need our books?
No, you don't need your book.
Okay.
Well, you need it. You might need a book. I have no idea what your needs are.
True.
If you're following along at home, we're just doing one a day. We're going to do all 10 for the purposes of this video, but don't you do all 10 in one day. You do one a day according to the Anna, according to Jesus' instructions. So what is creation? What is creation? Creation is the sum of all God's thoughts in number infinite and everywhere without all limit. Only love creates, and only like itself. There was no time when all that it created was not there, nor will there be a time when anything that it created suffers any pain. Forever and forever are God's thoughts exactly as they were and as they are, unchanged through time and after time is done. God's thoughts are given all the power that their own creator has, for he would add to love by its extension. Thus, his son shares in creation and must therefore share in power to create. What God has willed be forever one will still be one when time is over, and will not be changed throughout the course of time, remaining as it was before the thought of time began. Creation is the opposite of all illusions, for creation is the truth. Creation is the Holy Son of God, for in creation is his will complete in every aspect, making every part container of the whole. Its oneness is forever guaranteed inviolate, forever held within his holy will, beyond all possibility of harm, of separation, imperfection, and of any spot upon its sinlessness. We are creation. We are the sons of God. We seem to be discreet and unaware of our eternal unity with him, yet, in back of all our doubts, past all our fears, there still is certainty. For love remains with all its thought, its sureness being theirs. God's memory is in our holy minds, which know their oneness and their unity with their Creator. Let our function be only to let this memory return, only to let God's will be done on earth, only to be restored to sanity and to be but as God created us. Our Father calls to us. We hear his voice and we forgive creation in the name of its creator, holiness itself, whose holiness his own creation shares, whose holiness is still a part of us. When you read these preambles, or in fact anything in the course, when you read it, there's a temptation for the analytical mind to want to try and disseminate what it means. What's he talking about there? How is that possible? Right? So I would encourage you, as I was encouraged by my teacher, don't do that. Just read it and let it in exactly as it says, exactly what it says. And if you don't understand what it is, it doesn't matter. It's not talking to you, the analytical mind, in the first place. It's talking to the Christ in you, awakening the Christ. You are the barrier. You are the block. You, the identity that is false. You, the person that is trying to work it out. Right? That you doesn't actually exist. That you isn't really here. It's the dream figure of an idea of yourself. The truth of yourself, the real you, is what this is talking about in creation. The Tina and the Fran and the Anna and the Dave and all of that, we're just phantom figures of seeming life. Right? But we are also, in this aspect, in this regard with the Course in Miracles, we are also portals through which the technology of awakening, or the information of awakening, is transferred through the dreaming nature of the conscious mind to a point, or to a threshold point, where not only the Christ begins to awaken in us, which has been kept downtrodden by the ego, but through which we become ready for revelation. Right? The most incredible gift of humanity is for, it's like, better way to put it might be like Pinocchio, the wooden puppet, to be given a gift of life. You know, and I think Jesus says in the Bible, though you were dead, I shall give you life. It's like the dream figure has the potential and the, it's so hard to talk about. But the dream figure has the ability to take on board for itself creative reality, even in the dream. It's like for the last 26 years since my enlightenment, I've been walking around with this glowing, burning light in my consciousness, in my mind, not only the light of realization, but the light of truth, the light of the nature of everything. I can't explain it to anyone else, but it's the most incredible thing ever. My ego has done and still continues to do its best to dampen that down and tell me that it's not important or not anything, which is why mind training is a constancy of vigilance, but that becomes less and less and less. But don't try to understand these words. Just allow them in. Let Jesus mean what he says. And if you don't understand the meaning of what he says, that's okay, because the understanding of it comes through experience. When you begin this journey, you begin to have experiences in the changes in how you see yourself. You begin to have experiences in the nature of your relationships. You start to stand up for yourself and take back your power and reclaim your power of decision and your worth and all of these sorts of things. And those lead to other things, right? So when Jesus says it's a slowly evolving training program, that's true. That part of it you can understand because you can actually witness to it in your own processing. You see that you apply it here and this happens, and apply it there and that happens. But the other stuff, where he starts to talk about this stuff that's outside of time and space, don't worry about trying to understand that. Just take it on board that God's promise to you is resolute, it's infallible, and that when he talks about this stuff, he knows what he's talking about, and you can just trust in him for that. Is that cool? Because I know, Fran, I know a lot of people are sitting there with their underliners and their highlighters trying to work it out, and they're going, oh, I better... Oh, good girl. Look at her go. Well done. That's a gold star. Good, Fran. All right. So, Tina, do you want to do 321 and 322, please? And I think we're recording.
Yes, we are. Father, my freedom is in you alone. I did not understand what made me free, nor what my freedom is, nor where to look to find it. Father, I have searched in vain until I heard your voice directing me. Now I would guide myself no more, for I have neither made nor understood the way to find my freedom. But I trust in you. You who endowed me with my freedom as your holy son will not be lost to me. Your voice directs me, and the way to you is opening and clear to me at last. Father, my freedom is in you alone. Father, it is my will that I return. Today we answer for the world, which will be freed along with us. How glad are we to find our freedom through the certain way our Father has established. And how sure is all the world's salvation when we learn our freedom can be found in God alone. Lesson 322.
Hi, Megan. Can you put your camera on, please? Full participation. There she is.
Hi, sorry. I was just getting my dog inside.
Aha, very good. A full house today.
I can give up, but what was never real. I sacrifice illusions, nothing more. And as illusions go, I find the gifts illusions tried to hide, awaiting me in shining welcome and in readiness to give God's ancient messages to me. His memory abides in every gift that I receive of him, and every dream serves only to conceal the self, which is God's only Son, the likeness of himself, the Holy One, who still abides in him forever, as he still abides in me. Father, to you all sacrifice remains forever inconceivable. And so I cannot sacrifice except in dreams. As you created me, I can give up nothing you gave me. What you did not give has no reality. What loss can I anticipate except the loss of fear and the return of love into my mind?
Good. When you were reading that first bit, I sacrifice illusions, nothing more. And as illusions go, I find the gifts illusions tried to hide. In the beginning of that lesson, I had the song pop into my head, Down Among the Dead Men. I don't know who sings it. Joe would probably know who sings it. Down among the dead men. Oh, it's an Australian song. And I thought, we've been down among the dead men. It's like it's in everything. It's like we took a trip into the dark for a second just to see what was there. And now we're making our way home. We're making our way back to what's actually still there waiting for us. There's this cavernous emptiness within each of us that when we encounter it, we believe there's nothing there. We believe that it's like a void or there's no reality beyond it, but just beyond it. And it's one of the points you'll encounter in doing this course. Just beyond it is reality. Just beyond it is everything that was there before you turned your back away from it to come down among the dead men. So the idea of losing something or having no, how would I put it, having no self, having no sense of self seems to be something that brings up great trepidation and great anxiety. But it's actually the prerequisite for discovery of self, you know. But if you see that as a sacrifice, you're going to be hesitant when it comes to the point where that tiny moment of terror or where you cross through the veil because you can't see anything. It's like it's the total final leap of faith. You just call upon the Holy Spirit and whoop, it's like you're back in reality. But on this side of it, it appears that you're giving up everything. So you really kind of, in reading these lessons, you really kind of have to realize that the everything that you think you're going to be giving up in your enlightenment is actually nothing at all. Which is why the world I see holds nothing that I want. My only purpose here is having an interdimensional shift. It's like a total, like Jesus talks about it as a shift into invisibility in the Course. It's like if that's not an interdimensional shift, what the hell is? But when, of course, you shift into invisibility, everything else that you think is now visible goes along with you because it's all a production of your own thinking anyway. You know? I gladly make the sacrifice of fear. Kevin, would you like to read these other two? Because I know that you often have to go early.
Lesson 323. I gladly make the sacrifice of fear. Here is the only sacrifice you ask of your beloved Son. You ask him to give up all suffering, all sense of loss and sadness, all anxiety and doubt, and freely let your love come streaming into his awareness, healing him of pain and giving him your own eternal joy. Such is the sacrifice you ask of me, and one I gladly make, the only cost of restoration of your memory to me for the salvation of the world. And as we pay the debt we owe to truth, the debt that merely is the letting go of self-deceptions and of images we worshipped falsely, truth returns to us in wholeness and in joy. We are deceived no longer. Love has now returned to our awareness. and we are at peace again, for fear has gone and only love remains. Lesson 324. I merely follow, for I would not lead. Father, you are the one who gave the plan for my salvation to me. You have set the way I am to go, the role to take, and every step in my appointed path. I cannot lose the way. I can but choose to wander off a while and then return. Your loving voice will always call me back and guide my feet aright. My brothers all can follow in the way I lead them. Yet I merely follow in the way to you, as you direct me and would have me go. So let us follow one who knows the way. We need not tarry, and we need not stray except an instant from his loving hand. We walk together, for we follow him, and it is he who makes the ending sure and guarantees a safe returning home.
Joe, can you do the next two, please?
Firstly, apologies. The village chickens have adopted me and they're sitting just on the porch listening. So if the rooster goes off, I'm
Lovely.
sorry.
Vinca has roosters as well out where she is, so we often have the farm creatures with us.
Oh, that's a good way to be.
Yep.
Lesson 325. All things I think I see reflect ideas. This is salvation's keynote. What I see reflects a process in my mind, which starts with my idea of what I want. From there, the mind makes up an image of the things the mind desires, judges, valuable, and therefore seeks to find. These images are then projected outward, looked upon, esteemed as real and guarded as one own. From insane wishes comes an insane world. From judgment comes a world condemned. And from forgiving thoughts, a gentle word comes forth. A gentle world comes forth. With mercy for the Holy Son of God, to offer him a kindly home where he can rest a while before he journeys on, and help his brothers walk ahead of him and find the way to heaven and to God. Our Father, your ideas reflect the truth, and mine, apart from yours, but make up dreams. Let me behold what only yours reflect, for yours and yours alone establish truth. Lesson 326. I am forever an effect of God. Father, I was created in your mind, a holy thought that never left its home. I am forever your effect, and you forever and forever are my cause. As you created me, I have remained. Where you established me, I still abide, and all your attributes abide in me, because it is your will to have a son so like his cause. That cause and its effect are indistinguishable. Let me know that I am an effect of God. and so I have the power to create like you. As it is in heaven, so on earth. Your plan I follow here, and at the end I know that you will gather your effects into the tranquil heaven of your love, where earth will disappear and separate thoughts, unite in glory with the Son of God. Let us today behold earth disappear, at first transformed, then forgiven, fade eternally into God's holy will.
Good. Jan, would you do the next two, please? Oh, you have to unmute the microphone.
Okay, my apologies. Lesson 327. I need but call, and you will answer me. I am not asked to take salvation on the basis of an unsupported faith, for God has promised he will hear my call and answer me himself. Let me but learn from my experience that this is true, and faith in him must surely come to me. This is the faith that will endure and take me farther and still farther on the road that leads to him. For thus I will be sure that he has not abandoned me and loves me still, awaiting but my call to give me all the help I need to come to him. Father, I thank you that your promises will never fail in my experience, if I but test them out. Let me attempt, therefore, to try them and to judge them not. Your word is one with you. You give the means whereby conviction comes, and surety of your abiding love is gained at last. Lesson 328. I choose the second place to gain the first.
Key lesson.
What's that?
It's a key lesson, this one.
Oh, key lesson. Yeah. What seems to be the second place is first. For all things we perceive are upside down until we listen to the voice for God. It seems that we will gain autonomy, but by our striving to be separate, and that our independence from the rest of God's creation is the way in which salvation is obtained. Yet all we find is sickness, suffering, and loss, and death. This is not what our Father wills for us, nor is there any second to his will. To join with his is but to find our own. And since our will is his, it is to him that we must go to recognize our will. There is no will but yours, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace, and happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me.
Read that last bit in italics again, Jennifer. Take a breath.
There is no will but yours, and I am glad that nothing I imagine contradicts what you would have me be. It is your will that I be wholly safe, eternally at peace, and happily I share that will which you, my Father, gave as part of me.
Good. Close your eyes for a second. Take a few deep breaths. The emotion that you're sitting with there, that you're feeling now, there's nothing wrong with that. Stop trying to keep it down. You can let it come up. You can let it be released in the certainty that God's will does offer you the safety to even do that. If that brings tears or if it brings laughter, it doesn't matter either way. Don't try to pretend it's not there. Let it come up, because you're sitting on a package of energy and it's been triggered by that lesson. And this is what the lessons are for, is to help release you from your fears, to help release you from your doubts. Let it happen now. You may not feel comfortable in letting that happen now on a Zoom meeting, but I mean, you get the idea what I'm trying to say. All right, Bernadette. Oh, you're in the park? No, your screen is frozen.
No, I can't. I'm keep getting thrown off. My Wi-Fi is terrible. I'm in Europe and I'm upstairs here and just Wi-Fi is just terrible.
You look like you're out at a lake or something.
Yeah, it's just keep lagging, and like I hear 1 minute and then next minute I get thrown out of the room and it's reconnecting. So
All right. Well, can you do the next two, or your Wi-Fi doesn't work properly, or?
oh, no.
329. Or Megan, do you want to do the next two while Bernadette's sorting out her Wi-Fi, please?
Okay, there we go. I am actually gonna just like this room. Okay. I have already chosen what you will. Father, I wandered from your will, defied it, broke its laws, and interposed a second will more powerful than yours. Yet, what I am in truth is but your will, extended and extending. This am I, and this will never change. As you are one, so am I one with you. And this I chose in my creation, where my will became forever one with yours. That choice was made for all eternity. It cannot change and be in opposition to itself. Father, my will is yours, and I am safe untroubled, and serene, in endless joy, because it is your will that it be so. Today, we will accept our union with each other and our source. We have no will apart from His, and all of us are one because of His will, because His will is shared by all of us. Through it, we recognize that we are one. Through it, we find our way at last to God.
Good. Fran, can you do the last one, please? Lesson 330. Fran, formerly known as Highlighter Fran.
Lesson 330. I will not hurt myself again today. Let us this day accept forgiveness as our only function. Why should we attack our minds and give them images of pain? Why should we teach them they are powerless when God holds out His power and His love and bids them take what is already theirs? The mind that is made willing to accept God's gifts has been restored to spirit and extends its freedom and its joy, as is the will of God united with its own. The self which God created cannot sin, and therefore cannot suffer. Let us choose today that He be our identity, and thus escape forever from all things the dream of fear appears to offer us. Father, your Son cannot be hurt. And if we think we suffer, we but fail to know our one identity we share with you. We would return to it today to be made free forever from all our mistakes, and to be saved from what we thought we were.
Good. All right, which brings us to lesson 331. What is the ego? And we'll do that next week. And we're close to the end of our workbook.